Are you in denial? Welcome to the Hopefulist with me, Wendy McClure. This is where we turn those nasty, negative thoughts into positive and work toward a happy, fulfilled life. Now, let's get started. Welcome to the Hopefulist. I hope you are having a fantastic start of the week or whenever you are listening to this. I'm going to start right out of the gate with the quote of the day. Chances are excellent that some sort of fear will rear its head when you take stock of your needs and the no's they require. We've been talking about fear all of this month. And it's kind of a little bit like what I had focused on in the last podcast episode, which was talking about trusting yourself. When your brain tries to talk you out of new situations, when your brain is there to tell you that you can't do this, your brain wants you to stay in the same exact situation because that is where the brain feels the most safe. So, when you want to take stock of your needs, the ones you are not getting, and the no's that they require, fear will rear its ugly head. Keep that in mind. None of this is ever easy, you know? Life is hard. And we can make it easier by coasting and being comfortable in the life that we have. But then are we truly living? Are we truly living the life that we desire, or are we just getting by? Are we just getting by? I was watching Dr. Phil years ago when he said that your love life is exactly how you feel worthy. It's exactly the love life that you think you are worthy of. Being that I was in my 30s and still single, I tell you that really pissed me off. I knew I deserved love and the type of relationship that I'd always dreamed of, but it was not happening. I also kept out holding hope that once I found that relationship, everything would fall perfectly into place. Happily ever after. That didn't happen either. Turns out Dr. Phil was right, and man, did I hate that. It turns out that it was much more deep-seated than I had guessed. It was more than just believing I was worthy of a great relationship. It was how I actually felt about myself. My self-esteem and self-worth. Turns out I didn't have a lot of that. I've always come across as confident and outgoing. But I've really always been very self-conscious and anxious about what people think of me. In fact, I let it rule my world for so long. From issues that I'd been dealing with since childhood, I think I was feeling insecure about myself and the kind of love I deserved. I definitely had issues of abandonment. I thought I was actually supposed to be in control of the relationship. I often made high demands of the men in my life because I was teaching them how to treat me. That's what it was about. I got to tell you, it often didn't go well. For many reasons, I still haven't fully discovered why I didn't feel worthy of the type of relationship I now have. Lucky for me, I say it all the time, I married a saint. And he stuck with me through all of the many issues I had in the first years of our marriage. I honestly thought that being married was going to bring me all of the happiness I'd been craving my whole life. And when that didn't happen, I immediately thought I made a mistake in getting married. Then the shame that was piled on top of that for screwing up my husband's life and how his family would hate me when I inevitably filed for divorce because I had known his family since grade school. It and I was a mess. Took me a few more years to discover that it wasn't the marriage that was making me unhappy. It was the fact that I was banking on that to make me happy for 40 years. And when it didn't, I thought I had failed. It turns out that getting married doesn't automatically make an unhappy person happy. I was in denial about the status of my life. I held on to the belief that marriage would make me whole and happy for so long that I couldn't even fathom that the problem was me. It turns out that being happy was always my job. I was always in charge of that. And once I figured that out, it took me so long. That is why I do this. I don't want you to take as long as I did. I want you to find your happiness now. I want you to figure out how to go about being happier every day, because once I did that, I realized it was never a thing that was going to make me happy. I had to create it myself. So what is the point to this long story? Well, I was in denial for a very long time about many different things, about creating happiness, about how relationships should work and what I expected from them. And it's not just about relationships. It's about everything in your life. Your deep-seated beliefs that have ruled most of your life are affecting everything. The type of parent you are, partner, finances, the routines you have, and what you really think about yourself deep down inside. The so deep down that you rarely visit and hardly know at all. We are so afraid to delve into our subconscious and what we are doing on a subliminal level because, it's scary as all get out. It's uncomfortable and can bring up a whole array of feelings we don't want to face or explore. It is typically painful to think about why things that made you the way you are, whether it be your upbringing or something awful that happened that shaped your world. But if you don't address it, you will never be able to change it. You will never be able to move on from it. And most of these feelings are buried so deep, we don't realize how they are affecting us. And trust me, they are affecting your life. For example, how are your finances? Are you feeling the pinch of not having enough money? Maybe it has something to do with how you were raised around money. Yes, that is where you get your first beliefs about money and how to manage it. Did your parents have a hard time paying their bills? That may leave you with a feeling that you'll never have enough money. And therefore, you don't believe you are worthy of making a lot of money, and you act accordingly. I know this sounds woo-woo, but I believe your thoughts and subconscious mind run our world. And the scariest part is most of us don't even realize what our thoughts about ourselves are. Because again, we're too afraid of the pain and uncomfortable issues that will arise when we dig deep. In order to discover those deep down fears and limiting beliefs, I'm going to say it, you need to journal. You need to figure out how these old beliefs are holding you back and how you can change your thoughts to be more empowering. I know. No one wants to journal. It's time consuming. It's annoying when you can't think about what to write. It even hurts your hand when you aren't used to writing so much. But here's the thing. I just started doing something called morning pages. It's 2 to 3 pages, first thing every morning. And its purpose is just to free write whatever comes into your mind. That leads you to dealing with feelings that are likely stuck in your head and holding you back from being all that you can be. If you can't think of anything to write, you write, I have nothing to write for 2 or 3 pages, and likely something will start coming out. Right? So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get those gears running in your head. And the amount of the pages is specific because that's as long as it takes to get those thoughts and beliefs that are truly holding you back to flow. Because we don't want to deal with them and confront them because it's scary. But it's the only way to grow and the only way to truly get the life you want. Will you give it a try? It's best to do it first thing in the morning, hence morning pages, but I think it's fine if you can do it whenever you can fit it in, as long as you do it. The other benefit of doing it in the first thing in the morning is that it kind of helps to clear your mind. It kind of helps to let you vent on some things and to address some things that are on your mind, and you can come up with solutions or at least vent and get it out on the page. So what do you think? Will you give it a shot for 1 week? See what happens? See what you unearth? Listen, you have nothing to lose except a little time and a whole new world to gain. I really, really hope that you will give it a try. If you think you could benefit from some guidance during this process, consider personal positivity training. I work with you to uncover those limiting beliefs and help you work toward the life you design for yourself and your family. Check out the details at hopefulist.com/training to arrange your free call. Thank you for tuning in today. So happy to have you here. Now go be badass this week. I'm cheering you on. Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist. Now, don't you feel good? Make sure you come back next week. See you then.